Welcome, everybody. I'm Anthony Pinto. Welcome to the War Room. All topics regarding next year we will talk about in 12 days. 11 days away. 3 championship appearances in the last 4 months. But the Eagles must complete the task. We can't say we saw 3 number 2s. The Eagles must complete the task. And we'll be getting into that and all this and more in today's episode of War Room Philly. How you guys doing out there? How are you guys doing out there? As you can see, it's a solo show. There's not going to be any magical voices popping in tonight. So, it's, wow. The Eagles are in the Super Bowl. The Phillies were just in the World Series. The Union were just in the MLS Finals. And it feels good to feel good. So, we'll before we start looking ahead, let's go back and let's talk about the game that was the NFC Championship. Chat, bomb players, go ahead and get them out. Who was your bomb player for this game? It was a game where start to finish, the Eagles understood the assignment. And time and time again, this defense is proving to be the X factor of the team. Everyone wants to talk, and rightfully so, about Jalen Hurts, who, by the way, carried that offense when he absolutely needed to. But this defense, specifically the defensive line, just eats time and time and time again. Everyone's, people talk as if San Francisco came into the game with 0 quarterbacks and then the Eagles should have just played a different game because of it. I'm sorry, did our defense not knock them both out of the game because your line couldn't contain them? I'm sorry. Did I miss that? Did I? No. It was Hassan Reddick that is forcing Brock Purdy to have Tommy John surgery. It was Ndamukong Suh who knocked out Josh Johnson with a concussion. These weren't acts of God. These weren't random circumstances. This was the Eagles' defensive line manhandling San Francisco from start to finish. Oh, Devontae Smith, let's take 7 off the board. We still beat you 24-7. Oh, it's like the referees wanted the Eagles. I'm sorry, could we not look at every one of those flags thrown against you and say you deserved it? Am I missing something? Yo, did Nick Bosa play? Asking for a friend. Oh, he played. He just got shut down by future Hall of Famer Lane Johnson. Oh, Lane Johnson he's jumping the snap count. No, Hall of Famers do that. If you need a lesson, go look at what Jason Peters used to do. Now, chat, let me finish. I understand Jason Peters got called for a lot of them false starts late in his career. But you go look at Jason Peters' prime time, same thing. This is what elite linemen do. Does it help that, oh, by the way, Jason Kelsey has been Lane Johnson's center his entire career? Probably. Does it help that Jason Kelsey could himself be a future Hall of Famer? Probably. It helps the Eagles. Might not help Lane Johnson. Sure as hell helps the Eagles. Yeah, and this is what elite defenders do. Talking to the comment in chat, this is all we heard was Bosa. This, and Reddick said, I'm here. And look, did Reddick get robbed of the Defensive Player of the Year? He at least should have been in the finalists. Nick Bosa's a hell of a player, had a great regular season. At the end of the day, who cares? Who cares about personal reward? We're going to the Super Bowl. They're not. And whatever chips or no chips that Hassan Reddick put on his shoulder, it's insane. Kelsey, Johnson, and Mailata's got a lot to prove. But I'm not saying that is a false statement whatsoever. And you could say Jason Peters, he was a part of that. He really wasn't. He was a part of the first half of that 17 run. But Jason Peters, in my opinion, is another Hall of Fame lineman that has come through this city. And in my opinion, especially if they make the Hall of Fame, all those guys' numbers may someday be retired. It's super early to talk about Mailata. I'm pretty sure no one will ever wear 62 again. And we'll see about the 65 thing. But Peter's number might not get retired, but he is certainly a Hall of Famer. Mailata, I mean, he going off of projections, you could say it, but yeah, he's still got a lot to prove. Pretty sure Bosa was bitching that Philly stole the 20. That's good. What up, Murph? Let's go, boys. Lane Johnson is a freak. Yeah, doing it. We haven't even talked about it, but doing it injured as well. But that's why I wore 56 today. It wasn't because of the patch. It's because today, it's about the lines, man. It's about showing love to the lines. And again, to all the people that are just showing up, we're talking bomb players of the week. I saw Reddick maybe more than once in chat. If you got any, look, Reddick, 100%. I think this is a game where we might give out a couple game balls too. I mean, I predicted Bradbury. He had that huge interception. I think that at least gets me into the host category of being right. Miles deserves votes. Yeah, 2 touchdowns. Kenny G with another really good performance. I mean, I haven't pulled up any numbers because they seem so irrelevant, man. But let's dive in. Eagles box score. Let's look at the NFC Championship game box score. Why the F not? I'm gonna drop probably more than one F bomb, but we'll see. Speaking of dude shut me up this year, I don't know who you're talking about, Joe, but I gotta do it to you. Let's see. Let me find it. I gotta do it to you, Joe. Oh, Miles. Let's take a look, chat, at this interesting comment here from one Philly sports. Can we blow this up a little bit? Can you guys see that enough? Hold on, let me fix this. We're back in the Super Bowl. What a Murph! Murph, you better be at my house. You better be at my house for this event. Why am I having so much trouble with this? If I do it this way. It's just, no. It's not working either. Alright, we're derailing the... Shouldn't we be able to do this? There we go. Now I can't see. Alright, well, we'll pull it back up this way, and we can all have a little fun at Joe's expense. We can have fun at my expense as well, because I said many stupid things. But if we go back to this screen, where am I at? If we look at this comment right here, it's from a Philly Sports. So that's our one Joe Heston in chat, and it says Eagles aren't winning a playoff game. And that was as I was picking them to go to the NFC Championship game. Ultimately, I backed down from what I wrote down in my notes, but I took the Cardinals to go to the Super Bowl in Arizona. I was trying to be cute, which was horrible. So, like I said, we'll make fun of me as well and my terrible pick. But Joe said the Eagles weren't going to win a playoff game when Keith was sort of positive about Hurts. I was trying to be optimistic, but that being said, and Kevin was pretty negative about Hurts. We were all wrong about Hurts. Like I was watching the show that was from, and I was like, look, I'm not sold on Hurts, but and sort of rightfully so. But look, here we are. Are we sold on Hurts? I think so. I think so. But yeah, today's not the day to throw the. I honestly I went back to that show because I thought I picked the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl. I thought I picked Eagles Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl on this show, and instead I picked Chiefs Cardinals for some reason. I just didn't. I wrote it in my notes. Eagles. I wrote Eagles Bills ? Then I didn't circle that, and then I wrote Eagles Chiefs. But I never said it on air because I was too scared to say it. But yeah, Howie is a wizard. Yeah. Look, and I think Howie got his crow, rightfully so, and I think now he is rightfully getting his credit. Ultimately, the person who deserves the most credit there is Jeffrey Lurie, I suppose, for sticking through it with Howie, because fans, me, wanted him gone. And look, he caused a mess specifically at that quarterback position. It just so happened that Jalen Hurts turned out to be Jalen Hurts, and we're a little bit more lucky about the situation now. But man, what a ride. This team, and look, there's still very, very much one more game to win. And if and when they do it, this team might go down as the best ever in Eagles history, I mean. The only time I really felt this good about an Eagles team from start to finish is 2004. And in 2004, that was coming off of a tumultuous offseason. Javon Curse, Terrell Owens, there were more. I was a freshman in high school, so forgive me if I'm forgetting some names. But why were we so excited this year? Well, we had a draft day. You draft A.J. Brown. You just had an offseason that you're looking at all the moves and you're like, holy shit. What the hell is going on? down to C.J. Gardner-Johnson and James Bradbury, like the final two pieces. Except the final two pieces then were Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh. And by the way, Ndamukong Suh had a huge impact in this game against San Francisco. He knocked Josh Johnson out of the game. So, yeah, Howie, like I said, Howie deserves. He might have made 2 deals with the devil, but I don't blame him. Let's hope we pull this one off. But, we still got a whole other show to talk about specifically the Chiefs. And hell, if you guys want to talk Chiefs, fuck it. Let's just get into it. But if we want to look back, and if we want to kind of talk about the season, the off season, if we want to talk about the game against the 49ers, any specific things about that game, by all means, let's do it. You guys know, especially when there's no co-hosts here, you guys are the co-hosts. But you guys always steer the ship no matter what. Has a Super Bowl champion ever had 2 firsts? Yeah, no. That's the other thing too. It's not like the cupboard's thin. And you're gonna need those picks probably to be hits, because Jalen Hurts' payday is probably coming, and it might kick in next year. But yeah, it'll. This team's not coming back. It's like it. God damn, it feels, and I still got the headband on, but this conversation we're about to have is gonna feel a little eerie, because it's gonna feel very similar to what we said in October, November. This team's not coming back. By the way, look at what the Phillies have done since this conversation is supposed with the Phillies. Let's not talk about what the Eagles have, but this game coming up is the last game that everyone in that room is having together. So, why not really solidify your stamp in Eagles history? And I think that everyone in the room is aware of that. And I honestly think they're even more aware of it, because Jalen Hurts is probably spitting something 7 times better than that. Because that man just knows how to rally the troops. He's a leader, and I despite some negative things about Hurts, I've always said that I see things in him that you need out of a winning quarterback. Joe, Murph, you guys can probably back me up on this. Call me out if I'm wrong. But, I mean, we can probably go back and look up my reaction to the draft pick. If I remember it correctly, it was like, obviously, look, we were all mad about the draft pick. Rightfully so. Because a normal team builds around what was a franchise quarterback at the time. Just giving Carson Wentz a huge deal, and you're overdrafting a backup quarterback. And again, it wasn't Hurts the player, it was Hurts the pick that we hated. I hope he knows that. Like, no one ever was mad at Jalen Hurts the player. People might have doubted him and had may have said negative, but like, we weren't mad that it was just like why that. But even then, when I said, like, getting into like the initial reactions, like, I remember going like, all right, well, I like this player, I just hate this pick, and the reasons why I said it was, I think this guy has all the intangibles. Obviously, you guys know that I love the running quarterback. I love that Wentz, presumably could have done that. But yeah, that was when Wentz wanted out. You're absolutely right, Joe. And then it was he was coming in for gadget plays. That was weird. It's weird to think that was 2 years ago, though. Now 3 years into this whole thing. Hurts has proven it. Look, Hurts has been doubted by more people than Eagles fans on draft day. He has thrived on it and uses it to make it what he is today. Yeah, that's what good players do. He doesn't rest, and it's kind of my favorite thing when I looked at the celebration. No one looked too happy, and it gives me confidence going into this next game. I think he loves it, and I think he loves it. The hate fuels him. Yeah, a lot of the best still find ways to carry chips on their shoulders. Look, that's the Mamba mentality. Kobe found bizarre ways to motivate him against other teams, and if someone minute said something bad about him, I'm going to show him. So it's going to be, man, this game coming up is going to be, in my opinion, I think we're going to get a really good Super Bowl. I think the average fan is going to be like, God damn. And if you guys remember, which who the hell forgets, that Super Bowl was pretty electrifying too. Like that Eagles Patriots Super Bowl that the Eagles won in 2018 or the 17 season. Oh man, that had to have been, watching that from the and like just an average eye, like a mutual bystander. God damn. You and Joe, but you got your bomb player for next week? I think I got mine too. Murph, who's yours? Joe already said Miles Sanders. I don't know if I acknowledged it, Joe, but I saw it in chat. I think I was on a little bit of a groove. I figured you would, if anything, repeat it, which, you're allowed to do, and you've done in past. You got A.J. Brown. I might go fanboy and pick Ndamukong Suh. Ndamukong Suh on a big sack, big strip sack, maybe. Who knows? A.J. Brown gonna be carrying us to the promised land. Yeah, it could be Hurts. Hurts is, he's been a leader, but he hasn't had that like Jalen-esque day where he throws for 2 or 3, runs for 1. This offense put up like a quiet 31 against the best defense in the league, except the one that wears this color. Could see having him a day like Corey Clement. Now, he kind of had that already against the Giants, but yeah, Kenneth Gainwell has really come into his own at quite possibly the best time of the season. I wouldn't mind seeing him take some punts back if he's able to. Did it in college. I'd like to see anybody but Britton McCovey take punts back. Oh, easy there. Easy there, guy. I almost said cunts back. Punts back. Easy there, guy. Misslips can be a bitch. We'll cut that out. You heard it here first. Well, I think Joe dropped the "you heard it here first, Murph. But I heard what you're saying here first as well. I'm happiest for him. Feel like he's going to show off his Darius Slay. Look, this defense is. They're kind of a big play defense, so why not big play Slay? When it comes to Kansas City, is specifically my number one concern is, outside of Patrick Mahomes, but it's this game is going to feel. It's going to feel like a 2019 Super Bowl. It's going to feel like a 2019 Super Bowl. It's going to feel like a 2019 Super Bowl. It's going to feel like a 2019 Super Bowl. It's going to feel like a 2019 Super Bowl. It's going to feel like a 2019 Super Bowl. It's going to feel like a 2019 Super Bowl. It's going to feel like a 2019 Super Bowl. It's going to feel like a 2019 Super Bowl. It's going to feel like a 2019 Super Bowl. It's going to feel like a 2019 Super Bowl. It's going to feel like a 2019 Super Bowl. It's going to feel like a 2019 Super Bowl. It's going to feel like a 2019 Super Bowl. It's going to feel like a 2019 Super Bowl. It's going to feel like a 2019 Super Bowl. It's going to feel like a 2019 Super Bowl. It's going to feel like a 2019 Super Bowl. It's going to feel like a 2019 Super Bowl. It's going to feel like a 2019 Super Bowl. It's going to feel like a similar to San Fran coming in, where you don't know quite what an elite tight end can do against your defense. The big difference is this tight end has a quarterback. And that quarterback is the best quarterback in the NFL. So, I don't care if the dude's got one leg, no legs. As long as he's got his throwing arm, they got a shot. So, I think that, I think that this, unless Patrick Mahomes' high ankle sprain magically heals over the next two weeks, this defense is going to be able to get after him a little more than most defenses can. Well, let's not forget that Brady and Gronk got beat. Yeah, two of the best that ever did it. And again, I'm not saying that these guys are, unstoppable. Those two were the best that year and of their time, and we're doing it again. But guess what? If you win a Super Bowl, if you want to win a Super Bowl, you're going to be playing the best. And this year's pretty special that it feels like the best two teams are here. Look, I'm sorry. I said it going into the year. I didn't like the NFC. The NFC was bonk all year. I predicted the demise of the Buccaneers, Rams, and Packers. Which is, I should have put money on that. But I predicted it, which is why I felt so high on the Eagles. And here we are. And not to mention, now that there's Jalen Hurts into the equation. That was before we've seen out of Jalen Hurts. But here we are. And the Eagles are absolutely the class of the NFC. And I feel like if there was one of three truly deserving teams to come out of the NFC. Or AFC, excuse me. The Bills, Chiefs, or Bengals. And we got the Chiefs, and here it is. Andy Reid, you fucking owe us. Is it finally time for you to get Philadelphia a ring? Because I swear to God, Andy, it's going to get personal. Don't make me get Italian on your ass. Do not make me get Italian on your ass. I don't. Need Jalen to make better throws against the Chiefs. He shouldn't be as pressured, but he had some low and high throws. But receivers did their jobs. Yeah, he missed. The Niners were kind of daring Jalen to go over the top, and he missed on like 2 or 3 over the tops. I'll give you that. And like I said, I've mentioned it earlier in the show. Jalen has not had he hasn't had a fully 100% game since the, Chicago or earlier. So he also is dealing with some injuries. So both quarterbacks probably not going to come into this game 100%. So I almost think that's the... It almost feels like there's this, dare I say, mutual respect where both teams are coming in where it's like, all right, we're kind of hobbled and banged up, but we know it's a Super Bowl. Let's go and give it our best. I don't know that there'll be too much bitching from, the excuse. Oh, they were injured. I don't really think either fan base can use that. At least not going into it. But yeah, he had AJ and he had Watkins. I can remember those two specifically, Joe. Yeah, you think it's going to be another barn burner, just as it'll be like Super Bowl 52. We'll see. I think our defense should be able to contain that Kansas City offense a little bit, though. I think that our defense this year is leaps and bounds better than that 2017 team. That best thing about that 2017 team is they turned the ball over. They created turnovers. They were like a playmaking defense. This defense does it all, though. They're good. They're deep. They have a secondary. The front seven is they're just hungry. Goddard could have. I mean, hey, Cowboys fans have been waiting a long time to see Dallas in the Super Bowl, so Dallas could go off. He sure could. For the Cowboys fans. And isn't that the best thing about this team and this Eagles team, and kind of why we have so much charisma going into this game? I hear a lot of positivity going in this game, and you know, rightfully so. You know, with Nick Foles at the helm going up against the Patriots, there's a lot of nervous energy going into that other game. Yeah, I keep seeing both of Carson backups. I'm a stickler for details. Carson's had more than 2 backups. You know, Josh McCown didn't go to the Super Bowl. But no, I love it. I love it. I've seen the meme. I think we even shared it. I'm not against it. But yeah, I don't need to keep tabs on Carson. Whatever. I still respect the 11 wins that number 11 got for us our Super Bowl year. But I wish him no luck, especially when he's in our division. He hated those guys because of his own. Maybe he hates himself or something, but that's his own insecurity. But yeah, you know. Oh well. Again, let's talk about now and not then. But this team now is faced with the task of, you know, taking down the next great. And I love it. I mean, when I watched that Chiefs game, I saw in both halves Andy Reid waste a timeout because he didn't have a play call in. Whoever we're meeting went, hey, we'll see. We'll see. We shall see. But yeah, going into this game now, or I was talking about Andy Reid's wasted timeouts. Yeah, I mean, look, the timeouts, like, that you do that against the Eagles, you could take advantage of that, and you know, in a game that could potentially be really close, like, these are the things that we're kind of, you know, hoping to see out of him. Like, I want to see some of the things that he burned us with in the past. Chiefs fans need to understand some of that. And again, I got nothing but respect for Andy Reid, but this is personal. If you beat us, I will get Italian on you. This is personal. Do not deny me of this. You owe us a goddamn ring. I will send you all of the McDonald's gift cards you need. This is personal. This is the man that built the winning culture that is the Philadelphia Eagles that we know today. his direct philosophies. If you do not see the direct philosophies intertwined, Andy Reid's influences into this roster, you're either young or insane. And if you're young, sit down, I'll teach you. Hit me up. I will inform you. I will not make memes about you. I will inform you. Let's go. I hate these memes. Kids today will never... Well, fucking show them! Show them the way! I got you! So yeah, going into this game now against the Chiefs, it's a lot of these matchups can kind of favor the Eagles. Look, you had Avonte Maddox back, and it showed. It's just kind of hard with the last game to get a huge read on where your secondary's at, because I think the Niners only threw the ball like 5 times. The game was really never competitive, which is why it's like it's hard to go. Well, Jalen Hurts didn't, but the Eagles knew. Like, Nick Sirianni's a smart man. He understood that assignment, and it was get out of here as quick as possible once they saw Brock Purdy out of that game. And once they saw Josh Johnson out of that game, they couldn't throw. It was all systems go from there. So it's... Again, going into this game, a lot of reasons to be positive, but we'll get into, it's like, well, we got a whole other week on that side of things too. So it's going to be a fun one. It really is. I think that, again, I didn't get in a lot of if we can get bomb players for the Niners game, unless it is just Reddick. I may have seen 3 Reddicks now, so it might have been. So the thing about when I do Facebook hits pre-games, no one shows up anymore. So I was doing a lot. I did one for like the first 8 Eagles games this year, and I would they were less viewers than here. So I'm not going to do a show for nobody. But yeah, if people are going to be showing up, then why the hell not? Understandable. Yeah, I mean, I hate to air out my own dirty laundry, but I did several pregame shows this year, to wit, no one showed up. That's mostly on me. It's a little on you guys. But you gotta do it on Ustream, duh. Man, I miss that platform. Rip in peps. Rip in peps. But so I got a poll going in chat, by the way. That's a good poll. Radio Bucks, yeah. Radio Bucks is still a platform. Shout out to my boy Mitch too. He's still doing it. I think Ben still might be doing shows. Nick still does some vinyls on Radio Bucks. Yeah, we got a bunch of people still at the Radio Bucks. Yeah, Joe, you've been here. We know. Everybody knows. You've been here longer than Keith. That's my favorite way to put it, Joe. It's my absolute favorite way to put it. If when Greg's here, you can't say that. But you've been here longer than Keith. But man, I guess we can start wrapping up a little bit. We can talk some Sixers too. I know the Sixers are on, but they had a run. But then last night was a bit of a disappointment. What are they doing? Joe's not bitching about the Sixers, and please, I use that word as, I don't mean that as like fighting words, but you're not complaining about the Sixers. So I tend to think that means they're winning. That or you're just not watching. Oh my God, it's 85-83. Why? It's the Magic. What are you guys doing? Why? Yeah, 2000. We started this in 2011, right off of the heels of the Flyers Stanley Cup. The Phillies were still in that run. It was the tail end of it. The Phillies were still in that run. The Eagles still had Andy Reid. The Eagles still had Andy Reid when we started this platform. And I'm pretty sure you were here for that part of those days, Joe. Like, I don't ever remember a time where you weren't in chat. So, shout out to however the hell you found us. I guess Facebook? Those were the days. You sound like you earned for those days. I'm just saying, those were the days. Sorry, I have Always Sunny quotes caught up in my head. Yeah, so I guess we can do a little quick hits on the Phillies. Got Josh Harrison. Shit, I don't know. Hey, it doesn't matter. We here. Did you run into Bat Keith at the? I guess I would have heard about the experience if it happened. Keith went dressed up as Batman to the NFC Championship game, which respect. Now I regret not wearing my red hood to the Phillies game because I thought about it. Totally forgot. That's good. That means both of you guys were in good spirits. And it worked. Because Eagles whooped that ass. And that came through. That came through the TV. That crowd. So, and I hope it sounds like that on, was it February 12th? It's alright, you got the date, of the potential already marked down. We'll see. No matter what the date is, I'll be there. I can tell you that. Bet. So, but yeah, when it comes to this team, I don't want to just start getting ahead of anything. And again, next week's show, where shows will really be the pump up ones, and when we'll really break down both teams and all the hoots and hannies, and I'll have some co-hosts. But yeah, this game is, look, we're feeling good, and I think rightfully so. Sounds like a lot of Philadelphia's feeling good, and rightfully so. This is by no means a given, but we should be proud, and we should feel good about this Philadelphia Eagles team. And we go from a Super Bowl right into spring training camp. K Dizzle. What up, K Dizzle? I like when I see... Oh, what up, Kenny? I was gonna say, I like when I see a first time in chat and they know my name. And then... But, yeah. That's what I love to see. I love to see first time in chat. That's what we thrive on. How about Embiid absolutely owning Jokic? I mean, Look, we all know. We all know. This NBA thing could be a joke at times. Like the fact that Embiid didn't win the MVP last year is insane. The fact that he didn't win the MVP before that is almost just as insane. The fact that he's not a starter for the All-Star game is criminal, although I'd rather him and Harden not even go. You guys had your fun last year. Rest. I want this team because you guys know I've said this time and time again with this Sixers team. I'm watching game in and game out. I'm entertained when they're not blowing leads. You know, they're a fun group to watch, but I got my guard up with this Sixers team anymore. You know, I've thrown up light screen. You know, I got my Pokemon guard up. And when it comes to the Sixers, it's just I got my eyes set on you gotta show me what you can do in the playoffs. And you gotta it's not even about getting past the second. You gotta get to the NBA Finals. And at this point, when you have James Harden and Embiid on such a small window, you gotta go win it. And again, I'm positive about the Sixers. I just have my guard up. So that's why you haven't seen me like do the rah-rah thing for them and maybe go fully in like on Sixers conversations this year. It's also because we've had a Philadelphia Phillies World Series run, a Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl run. So there's been, I don't want to say better things at hand, but there's been better things at hand. But again, with the Sixers, it's just we know what this team can be. They look really good. Assuming this one's for the fans. Assuming Doc Rivers doesn't forget about this Joel Embiid, James Harden pick and roll thing, we got that going for us. So, you know, yeah, this Sixers team, it's looking good right now. And the East looks, you know, obtainable. I hope you're right. I hope that the Sixers just continue with the good vibes of the city. We'll see. We shall see. I can't make these statements anymore. Do you understand, Joe? Like, you, out of all people, should know why I can't make these statements. I'm glad to see you're doing it. But if I continue to double, triple, quadruple down on the Sixers and say that they're going to the I'm going to continue to look absolutely insane. So, but that's the thing, though. You had your guard up earlier, so now it's time for you to maybe get a little hurt or something. But you're right to feel that way. Like, I'm not arguing against it, and then I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying, me the host, it's hard for me the host to want to like fully dive into that. Also, there's been this World Series and Super Bowl phenomena that we've got to talk about too, so it's great. It is great. The biggest problem is gone. Man, you really don't like Michael Rubin that much? I thought he was a pretty cool owner. I'm just messing. I know you're talking about Ben. We ain't talking about Ben. We gotta stop bringing up Carson and Ben on these shows. This is a feel-good show today. This is a feel-good show. We ain't talking about these bums. These cretins. Sorry. Excuse me for a sec. You guys heard it. That was a bucket. Ben couldn't hit that. Says not to bring up and immediately mocks him. We got 85-95. Probably we probably we'll wrap it up relatively soon. So what we'll do now is let's get in any and all thoughts. Everything Philadelphia. If there's anything past, present, or future you want to talk Philadelphia sports chat, now is the time to do it. And we will hit this one out of the park. They could have felt this electricity like Bryce, but instead, yeah, absolutely, Joe. Markel Fultz in town too. Speaking of, Fultz at least has tried to repent, but I still, I can't. But that's the thing. Fultz never blamed the fans, which, you know, if anything, he also blamed Ben. But yeah, I mean, we were to him for the most part until he left. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the draft pick that we got back for Fultz was Tyrese Maxey. It ended up becoming Tyrese Maxey. If someone could stat check that for me, like 90% sure. If that's the case, you could say to hell with Philadelphia, all is still forgiven. Because Tyrese Maxey is a beautiful basketball player. And an even more beautiful human being. If Tyrese Maxey comes into the room and I would imagine the whole room feels at least 1% better because he's in the room. He's that just breath of fresh air. He's just got that like positive Saiyan aura around him, that like yellow glow, and you're just like, hey, this guy he's such a good soul. So yeah, I guess I can't hate on Fultz when I remember that you got Maxey for his pick. And but yeah, I mean, again, going in with the Sixers, it's a wait and see thing. They're looking good. It'll be interesting to see how they, go in and come out of the All-Star break and all that. But again, let's just see how this team can continue to roll. Right now, looking like they can compete with the East, and that's what you want to see. With the Phillies, again, they signed, what was his name, Josh Harrison, which is a nice, nice little utility infielder. Good under the radar signing. Happened like as we won the NFC championship, so we kind of not talked about. And yeah, man, when it comes to this Eagles, when it comes to this Eagles outfielder, I say infielder. I'm sorry, I misspoke. Thank you for correcting me. But yeah, when it comes to this Eagles team, it should be, look, it's going to be a long, but let's try to have some fun with this week. Coming up, it'll be the media week, and you'll see, the players the Kelsey brothers are going to get asked the stupidest of questions, but those guys are at least so entertaining and fun that they'll have fun with it. But it'll be interesting. You got, it's the first Super Bowl where two black quarterbacks are starting. I think that's pretty historic. And it's kind of fun to take part in progress. So it'll be interesting to see where this whole thing goes going into like the media and the circus that is. But man, I'm having, look, as Eagles fans, how are we not just on cloud nine? Him, Devontae, love them, but yeah, hey, I was a Devontae Smith fan before it happened. That was all offseason. I just kept saying, get me Devontae Smith. And that was the offseason how he was been traded down, and I was freaking out, and then they traded up, and they got him after all that. But oh my God, the Devontae Smith was. It's been having Devontae Smith and AJ Brown on the same team feels like a cheat code. It feels like both a cheat code and like reparations for being an Eagles fan and dealing with Todd Pigston, James Thresh, Mac Hollins, Nelson Aguilar, JJ Arcega-Whiteside, Jalen Reagor. Having those two, it feels like it's make up for that. But alright, I'm gonna wrap it up because, quite honestly, I can't talk right now. I feel like I got something completely stuck in my throat. So the rest of this, anything else that I say is just gonna be, it's gonna be a challenge. So excuse me. All right. With that, we're going to probably have multiple shows before the Super Bowl. Stay tuned. Facebook.com/WarRoomPhilly. Please turn notifications on here on Twitch and on YouTube if you're watching there on demand. So with that, I want you guys all to tune back in anytime that we can. The next time that I'll be live, we should have some co-hosts, and we'll get the party going. It's going to be a fun one. The other thing about the next time I'm live, it'll just be one more moment closer to the Super Bowl. So, again, thank you guys all for tuning in, both live and on demand. We are indeed going to the fucking Super Bowl, Joe. With that, thank you guys all for tuning in both live and on demand. I am Anthony Pinto, and we are going to the fucking Super Bowl! And we are out of here. Thank you guys for all tuning in. Go Birds.